Alright guys, today we're talking about Lunistice. This is a small game, one that's only $5, so pretty low in the price. But I found it to be very fun. It's got some decent settings, it plays pretty smoothly. And yeah, it's just kind of a joy to play through this. It's all that nostalgia. It's designed to be a classic sort of 3D platformer. I'm just going to jump right into some gameplay to kind of show you what it's like, and I'll talk about it. First and foremost, for those of you who really love this, you do have a nice CRT filter you can turn on, which gives you that nice curvature for like a TV screen, and the little CRT lines. And you also can turn off high-res mode. You can even put 20 FPS mode on if you really want to go old school. And it gives you a different sort of look to the game, which definitely has that classical feel of what they were saying, a PS1 or Dreamcast kind of game. I would say this looks better than a PS1 game, because those look pretty rough. But I could see like a Dreamcast game. I could see maybe a really late PlayStation game. Or maybe I'm thinking of some of the early ones, like Medieval, which they're pretty rough in these days. Now, personally, I like to have the high-res mode on and the CRT filter off. I just like the cleaner feel at this point. But it's quite nice overall. Now the world is pretty, you know, not well developed, I would say. Like, it's just a bunch of things to jump to. There's little offshoot paths, which are at first pretty easy to see. They get a little harder later in the game. I haven't gotten that far. I've only played it for a little bit. But I'm just kind of showing you a route that's kind of natural to this game. It's not too hard. Levels are designed to be nice and easy. There's like a casual feel to this. It's not like stressful. Collecting stuff's pretty simple. I like it. Sound effects are all there. The controls are tight. You can enable a little shadow to see if you're landing in the right spot. It's all good. There's actually even controls for your controller dead zone. And if you don't know what that is, it just kind of determines how quickly your controller actually activates on little inputs. So for me, even like little tiny inputs can make me maneuver a little bit, which it's tolerable enough. It hasn't made me run off a cliff yet, but you know, there are some little things where you have to check. I had to look the first time I saw that drop, because sometimes they do lead to, you know, a little area with like a few collectibles or something. In later levels, it gets a little bit more advanced, of course, but you know, you're meant to kind of explore a little bit. Not that there's like so much that you're gonna get overwhelmed. Each level tends to add like a new mechanic of some kind. And by mechanic, I mean like maybe there's some bouncy things, or maybe there's things that pop. It depends. And then you get to the end of the stage. Pretty quick. Levels don't take that long. You can see it's a pretty fun, like, simple experience. It's not hard to S-rank everything. I'm not terribly good at 3D platformers, and yet, you know, I've been able to S-rank most things. The hardest thing for me is occasionally slipping and dying. That can cause a little bit of trouble, but you know how that is. No big deal. Replayability is pretty high, because levels are pretty quick. I kind of like that. So you don't have to spend too long just jumping in and jumping out. Lends itself well to like a quick review too. Especially since I've been playing a lot of God of War and a few other things, which I'll do some reviews on soon. Let me just jump into a level that I had started and realized would be good to show off for some more of the complexity. With some levels, this one's a little more colorful. Some levels have a little bit more variation as to where you're going and as to what's around you. I'd say this level has a lot more going on than the other one did. At least the visuals look a little nicer to me. It's a little more colorful, shiny, which is a nice little aesthetic, you know? Sometimes things can be just happy, even if this does have some dark secret thing underneath it going on, which, you know, I've yet to really discover. You do get like little documents and stuff if you unlock special keys at the end of the run. Let's try not to fall off the cliff. You do have a slow walk, so you can kind of handle those little more precise moments. Usually there'd be a letter of my name here. I already collected it though, so it's not there anymore. You also don't need to kill all the enemies. I'm pretty sure you don't need to, at least. But I tend to, just because, you know, that's the way I am. I've been taught to kill slimes. Oh, I missed one there. Oh well. I don't think that's a big deal, really. You see, this is like a little thing that's like a little bit of a different mechanic. But there's a much cooler one in this level that I caught a glimpse of, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you guys that the person making this does have some, you know, some creativity going on. So here we go. This one looks like you just have to keep the thing on the bar. You also have to be aware because monsters can appear on this little platform thing. Offshoot paths are still generally pretty clear, even later in levels. There's a few that are more hidden, and I'm sure I'm going to miss one at some point. Some jumps just get me like that too, where I think I'm going to make the little bounce and I don't, which can be a little frustrating. But that's more a me fault than a fault of the game. I'm surprised I didn't hit a checkpoint before that. Well, this time let's get it right. Hopefully. And it's easy to get back on track, as you can see, which is pretty nice and convenient. I'd be sad otherwise, because then it would feel a little cheap to take me off the path and make it hard to get back on. This thing's forcing me to run a little faster, but that's no big deal. And it's a cool little thing to spice things up a little bit. Then I can make this jump. There's another route, but it looks like I generally didn't need to make that route, so I'm okay going this path. And here we go. Wait a second for those. I don't need to kill that, so I won't. Now here's another secret. You can see there was like a little clear thing under there. It wasn't that hard to miss, but that's probably one of the sneakier ones I've seen. Oh no, 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 no. Alright, thankfully that doesn't keep pushing me forward. That would have been sad. And see, this gets kind of cool. Like, it's got a nice, like, flow to it. I don't know if I actually need to stay in the green or if I could just kind of... Whoa! If I could just kind of tell for myself. It looks like it's kind of intuitive with that. It's not like it's like going the opposite direction and making you all weird about it. There's an enemy ahead I can see. Another enemy. Keep steady. Change the lane. No blinker, so... Alright, I see the trains on that side. Oh, and we get a little Sonic moment. I appreciate that. Let's jump on this tree, because I don't feel like dealing with the other stuff. Now, I missed a few little cranes, it seems. I'm not sure where I missed them. And I don't think I got the glitch area unlocked here. I don't see it, so I'll have to try this level again. Maybe I have to beat both levels before I can get the glitch level. I'm not really sure. I think I missed a letter in there somewhere too. But let's go back and let's take a look. Yep, I missed a letter there, so I missed a secret zone. So I'll have to go back and find where that is. But that'll be fun for me to do later. Right now, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a kind of an impression of what the game's like. I really think you guys should support this. It's a cool little game, $5, pretty fun. I think anybody who likes 2D platformers, especially old school types, would have a good time with this. Obviously not the game type for everyone. If you're into like some hardcore, you know, like elite style stuff, you know, you're a Souls gamer, you know, you're probably not going to want to play this that much. But it's nice and refreshing, and like it's good to have games for that, especially at such a reasonable price point. They could have probably charged $15, and that would have probably been reasonable. Like, let's take a look at the level selections. So it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 7 levels, so maybe like 14 little levels. I think, you know, $5 is a fair price. 15, I would have been, you know, maybe a little closer to like, it's a little bit much, but, you know, for what it is, it works well together. Everything sounds nice. The graphics are good. I like the CRT options. I like the number of options they have to make it more authentic for what they're aiming for. So I think this game's pretty cool. I've not really heard anyone talking about it. So I thought I would look at it. It just came up on my Steam curated thing. So I was like, you know what? Sure, let's give it a go. And it worked out pretty well. It's not the perfect game. It doesn't do like a million different new things. It's not reinventing the wheel. But for what it is, it's really good. I give it a like a 7 out of 10. You know, it's nice, nothing groundbreaking, but it's good and you'll probably have fun with it if you like this kind of game and if what you saw is something you'd enjoy. I recommend playing it for yourself and finding some of the secrets. If you're curious what the intro kind of looked like, because that was the bizarre secret thing, I'll just start a new file really quick, just so you guys can get this little, this jarring, like serious voice.
Almost a full year of simulations with no tangible results. I'm continuing to do small tweaks to the process, but without deeper understanding of the underlying system. I wish we could contact the professor, but communications are still disrupted. She would know what to do. She is responsible for this whole situation after all. At least my quarantine thread seems to be holding up. It seems like preparations for the next sample loop are complete. Our next case is a scout, Hana, who's been showing signs of minimal control over the program. I'm, well, not getting my hopes up anymore, but... Anyway, commencing sample loop in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's how the game starts. So kind of like a really dour, dark feel of the guy going, yeah, and the sample loop's gonna begin. And then you jump into like this vibrant, you know, happy-go-lucky thing. But hey, you know, sometimes, you know, that's the thing. That's what a lot of games are kind of doing. They combine dark with happy. And it's been a pretty valuable trend, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, overall, even outside that little bit of oddness with the, you know, the jarring gravelly voice and then like, oh, happy-go-lucky times, I think this is a pretty fun time. Not the perfect game, but it's worth a look. All right, that's all. See you guys.